Today we'll be doing the unveiling of the world announcement of epic proportions, the Lunaprise Museum, the first art and cultural museum to land on the moon, breaking waves and is bringing the attention to an entirely new genre of people developing technology and cryptocurrency.
The entire world was united in that. It was one of the biggest television broadcasts in history. Human beings from all over the world, representing many, many nations, witnessed that achievement.
This is Mission Director on IM-1, evaluating how we can refine that signal and dial in the pointing for our dishes. What we can confirm, without a doubt, is our equipment is on the surface of the moon, and we are transmitting. So, congratulations, IM team. We'll see how much more we can get from that.
Today, for the first time in more than a half century, the U.S. has returned to the moon. Today, for the first time in the history of humanity, a commercial company, an American company, launched and led the voyage up there. And today is a day that shows the power and promise of NASA's commercial partnerships.
It's our stories that are going to land into other galaxies. It's our stories that are going to land into other places.
It is not a linear action that changes the destinies of humanity. It is when you walk the mind.
The spirit we have, the love we have within our heart, the vision we have, there's no limit to what we can achieve here and inspire the world, especially also and the youth, everybody, no matter what age, no matter what generation, to become part of literally writing history and the future at the same time.
Hello and welcome to Yes3 Network. I'm your host, Brandi Veil, and it brings me great honor to focus on the innovation, wellness, and technology worlds of blockchain and Web3. And today I have a surprise announcement for you of a project that I've been working on for some time. It is going to the moon, literally. And so just like Bitcoin, we're all going to the moon. Yes, 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 yes. Just keep that in mind. So on today's podcast, we're going to go and we're going to enter into a new foundation of innovation, which is culture and groundbreaking, and these trends to converge the worlds of reality and space travel. Today, we'll be doing the unveiling of the world announcement of epic proportions, at the Lunaprise Museum, the first art and cultural museum to land on the moon, is breaking waves and is bringing the attention to an entirely new genre of people developing technology and cryptocurrency. Talk about that later. So here we are. It's February 22nd, 2024, and 222 artists come together along with a bunch of other people at an event to celebrate the launch of their artwork going to the moon. So I want you to think about what it means to be first. As you listen to this interview that I have with Dr. Farzam Kamalabodi, so the movement of the collective Peaceful Rise for Africa, Dr. Kamalabodi, groundbreaking news. He's always sharing, he's meeting presidents in Malawi, he's helping sign peace movements, he is allowing technology and real world assets to emerge. And this is the beginning phases in the multiverse. And Dallas Santana, who is the founder of Space Blue and curating all the art and all the artists. Simon Bullock is also one of the partners and also the designer, developer, and his team. We must say thank you so much, Simon, for saying yes to us. Simon Bullock is a 27-year-old inventor and entrepreneur, and he is the founder of Future Catalyst Holdings and the Future Multiverse. He is transforming what it means to be in the multiverse. And he believes that the revolutionary bridge of art and technology and culture is bringing us together. And that project is called the Lunaprise Museum. If you're coming to the metaverse, the multiverse, you'll be able to click on his artwork, just like all the other artists, and you will get a sense of the history of the art, the purpose of the art, the value of the art, and the collecting of that art, where it's headed, and how to get involved or how to experience it in real time. Ultimately, with over 40 transformational art pieces, we have it valued at $1 billion right now in a commercial payload sitting on the moon. And it didn't happen overnight. You'll hear from Dallas. He will tell you this takes time and it takes commitment. and it is for humanity. It's refining humanity. We are the cultural artifacts. Everything we do is enabling a new human experience. So keep your hearts and your minds open and join us for this future Multiverse, a virtual experience bridging the Lunaprise Museum. My name is Brandi Veil, transformational educator. I bridge the worlds from the future into the now. And I found these three individuals who I knew who could really make it happen. Anyways, we're all partners, and I'm so happy that you're here today. So listen in and have fun, ask questions, and enjoy the ride.
The entire world was united in that. It was one of the biggest television broadcasts in history. Human beings from all over the world, representing many, many nations, witnessed that achievement. Now, fast forward to today. It makes a lot of sense that when you think about it, as we expand our presence both here on the earth and into outer space, our culture, our art, and our history and our stories will be the very first thing and the furthest thing that actually travels into the solar system. So if we can kind of be in the sci-fi moment for a minute and think about where we're headed into the future, it's our stories that are going to land into other galaxies. It's our stories that are going to land into other places. Even the Golden Album is a story about a humanity. It captured some of the music and some of the voices that's now orbiting out in space. So this Lunaprise Museum is the beginning of telling a story of humanity, and it's in a special technology and archived, which will allow it to be able to last for the duration of the universe. It has technologies in it that are ancient technologies, such as quartz systems and also nickel systems and nickel materials that will allow the Lunaprise Museum to last different parts of it for between 1 billion to 14 billion years. So this is a very significant achievement that we've entered into. And the Artemis mission, which is a NASA initiative to explore further into space beyond the moon, into Mars, and to bring humanity to live perhaps even into other worlds. This is underneath the title called the Artemis mission. And this cultural museum is literally the foundation, the Plymouth Rock, if you would, the beginning of this signature event that took place. We begin to allow children to understand that this has taken place, and the rest of humanity through this metaverse experience. We will be doing the same thing as the overview effect. We will be elevating the awareness that we are one, and that we are one humanity, and that we're all connected together with amazing stories, and we should come together. So that's why I'm here. That's what I wake up for in the morning, to play a role in civilization and history, and to join together with like-minded people, because I know the people that are on this conference right now to discuss about this and to bring this awareness to people. I know that everyone that's here shares this common desire to be a connector of humanity. So thank you so much for all of us that are here, and I'm delighted today.
Dallas brought the idea that he wanted to go to the moon. You know, you kept moving it forward, and 2 years down the line, it took place. It takes a team, it takes a village, and when we come together, we can change the world, and we are doing that. And with that being said, I would love to have Farzam to the stage. Farzam, you've been making some headlines around the world when it comes to your projects. You are an artist and have been an artist for some time, changing the perspective of how people communicate. Your calligraphy, the masterpieces that carry this deep cultural and historical meaning. What has inspired you to have this inclusion in the Lunaprise Museum?
Yes, my own artwork, which is, again, I'll explain very interestingly. It is a Chinese brush on Chinese rice paper, but writing both Chinese and also Persian, and sometimes even Korean and sometimes Latin alphabets. So itself is a combination of cultures and civilizations. They are on rice paper. Nobody knows that the rice paper is an ancient high-tech where you take all the rice fibers, and it is like actually 1,000 layers that become so thin that if you put a hard pen, it will break. You have to use brush and ink. So we have created a hybrid of art and civilization, and there is unusual messaging in my poetry that I wrote in those. So we have given the messages for the elevation and exaltation of humanity and the limitless potentials of the soul to be written on the piece of paper of rice, which comes from the ground and will put on the moon. And it is a combination of the different scripts of humanity, including hieroglyphic.
Mm. And how does the collective peaceful rise of Africa, your movement, your manifesto, and the China align with the mission and the museum?
Yes, first of all, again, it comes to the time of Simon. The museum is physical and virtual because the common denominator of elevation is that the mind soars. So Africa itself is now going to be the contributor of a lot of inventions. The number of blockchainers and also the people in the digital space in Africa is fast moving. In fact, soon in about a decade will be higher than the Western world and even China. So that's one area we push because the entire assets of Africa and the wealth of the nations are in the ground, which run the digital economy of the future of the world, including the space program, all of its titanium and many of the metals. Part of it will be developed. The rest of it is the reservoir of humanity. We call it the real world assets that will be in the digital world. Therefore, they can be calculated, verified, and become futures of the wealth of humanity, just like Mercantile Exchange. This is a fast pace for them to monetize their assets under the ground. I call the dormant assets become cash. The unity in diversity of humanity on the levels of Wakanda. You know, it is not science fiction that the sciences in Africa are emerging.
And the manifesto that you have recently written, and you have announced the Finance for Humanity. You have gone all the way to onboarding presidents of Africa and to our mission. Why are you involved in a space metaverse? Why did you say yes to this vision?
It is not a linear action that changes the destinies of humanity. It is when you warp the mind. When the poorest region, Africa, all of a sudden becomes richer. When an art that is physical, that is on a rice paper, now is going to remain for 1 billion rays on scale. So these are the mind breakers. When I said I am writing Chinese calligraphy as the only foreigner in the history of mankind.
With that being said, there's a lot to chunk off in everything that you said. I want to wrap this around something very important for people who are curious about metaverse and people who are curious and investing in metaverse or artwork, and understanding what Farzam is saying is really powerful. What we are doing is we are creating the template model for exchange in the metaverse. And it all starts with cultural activities like art and music and entertainment. And it's documented and it's tokenized. And so what our organization is doing with Lunaprise Museum, it's more than a museum. And it is an invitation. It is a call to action. With that being said, I'd love to invite Simon, who is creating the experiential value in the metaverse designed for people to come together, learn about the art, learn about the artist, learn about the mission, and also begin to be a substantial finance participant in this next evolution. Thank you so much. So as a 27-year-old inventor and entrepreneur, what drives you into creating the metaverse? Did you always see it as the future and this is the only way we were going to get to where we need to be?
This is a brilliant question. First of all, I want to say again that it's such a huge honor to really to create with you, Brandi, with Dr. Farzam, with my dear brother and partner, and with Dallas, and to really serve the future and writing history here. To answer your question, what led us, myself and my team, my co-founder and partner Stephanie, and a whole team of over 50 designers and developers worldwide, and a great community, built the technology we've built today, has started for me when I was around think 12, 13 years old. After conferences, when my father basically always said to everybody, "Hey, why don't you come to our home? I'll cook for everybody and we keep on the conversations." And me as a 12, 13-year-old, I always listened to all the conversations of those engineers and inventors and then different very inspiring people. And they talked about so many potential solutions and problem. How is it possible if solutions like this already exist, that the world that we live in is still at the stage that we're at? I asked myself the question: how can I build a tool, a technology, a platform that can bring those brilliant people that are so driven and have a great vision and are driven by their heart and the inspiration to build a better future and build a better world? How can we bring all of them together to fast track the process? How can we bring their projects together, their solutions together? For us, it was never about, let's say, building a metaverse project or a blockchain-based project or an AI-based project, etc. But we ended up building a multi-dimensional platform that combines virtual reality, hyper-realistic with AI, with blockchain, and now literally empowering the most impactful and literally game-changing and historic movements and now projects with you together. Our goal was always very simple. It was, in fact, to build a solution where from all over the world we can bring everybody together, and where the tools we already have to access the solutions, make them decentralized, accessible for everyone, and then, in fact, giving everybody the opportunity to share those solutions, also to benefit from contributing to that, to share it with everybody, but also those projects to receive any support that they need. If it's financial, if it's the right consultations, the right partners, the right team that they need, any support, if it's development support, design support, whatsoever, and to build, let's say, a catalyst, or let's say an accelerator to help those projects. And now we basically built a system where, together with Farzam and now together with you, where we literally have the possibility to make the moon and historic art accessible for everybody around the world, even through their phone. So it hyper-realistic, but also in that form has never been done before, and where everybody can purchase this art, invest in it, share it with everybody through a fully automatized platform. But through our partnership with Dr. Farzam and Future Trends Crew, we're literally now digitalizing entire countries. We're literally bringing world leaders together that we now can even gather in an environment like the Lunaprise Museum on the Moon to exchange that culture, to bring that exchange and the conversations together that the world needs to, let's say, to break through the invisible and visible wall, as Farzam just mentioned. And I believe that's 100% possible, and all the solutions that the world needs is already there. We just have to bring them together. That's what keeps me thriving every day.
I do want to unpack what you just said, because I could see where your head was going. The big question for me, and probably a lot of our viewers out there, is it's a global opportunity, but is the global audience ready for it? Is it accessible to a majority or a minority of people? And what does a timeline look like for us to onboard people to experience?
That's a great question. In fact, I believe that the time couldn't be better than it. In fact, when just looking at, for example, I'm turning 28 this year, and through Farzam and the work with him and our travels in Africa, I literally learned that please, Farzam, correct me if I'm wrong, but over 60%, I think, of the entire population of Africa is already younger than myself. It's unbelievable that, there's so many young people in Africa. Africa is the by far richest continent in the whole world. So much potential, so many people that have already. More and more people are getting, of course, not everybody has access to a phone yet, or to a computer, of course, or to the internet, in fact, and even electricity. So this is even still a big problem, but still, enough people have to actually implement the solutions we already have. Working now and in touch with several governments now want to really implement the system.
That's the invitation to open up that piece of what partnerships, because the Future Trends model is to bring companies and organizations and institutions into the metaverse, and the Lunaprise Museum has already onboarded $1 billion worth of art. And these are IP that's going to share this level of currency.
And we are basically, with multiverse, metaverse, we are destroying the quantum of time and space. Because in one window, you are in China, and then you are in Mexico, in the Maya civilization, and then you are in Kemba, the heart of the ancient Chimbangist civilization. So we're breaking through the barriers of time and space. It creates the unity of humanity.
What I enjoy about this team is that we agreed to create a model. And yes, we've seen the model, experiential model through gaming and Sandbox and many other metaverses. And what I love about this team, this partnership, is that we are creating a model that is education based. We are creating a ecosystem that is rewardable and incentivizes creativity. So as we start to wrap all this wonderful information up, handling the curation of the Luna Museum, I think it's really important that you share with the audience how they can get involved, how the organization or the artists participate in supporting the Lunaprise Museum.
Yes, there are 222 projects and another 22 that will go out into space. And we're going to curate initially only a handful of artists will be brought into the Lunaprise mission so we can focus on the attention that these great examples provide to us all. Some of them are musicians. Music has been on the planet for 30,000 years or more, probably more. One of the artifacts that we sent to the moon, which I told the team at Pink Floyd about, was we sent a cuneiform tablet that recorded the very first known music in the world, 30,000 years old. It's up there, but also we have the music of band members such as Pink Floyd that did this incredible album, Dark Side of the Moon. So this is a special project, too, that's known by billions of people on the planet. That is going to be in the metaverse, the Pink Floyd project, and Scott Page, who you know, who's a very good friend of yours. So music is going to be legendary music that has touched humanity all over the world and got the imagination going with this music of bands like Pink Floyd. Is going to sit right beside Farzam's artwork. This is the greatest of the great of our time that's up there. And we also have a woman entrepreneur and creator who is aspired to be building and designing future fashion for us to travel into space. And so she's a part of this mission. And there are some others. It's a handful of others that have been chosen for the very first exhibit in this museum. Now we have 77,000 artifacts that were sent to the moon. It's going to take us at least 10 years for us to exhibit what's up there. And that's where this metaverse comes in. Each quarter, we'll update it, the metaverse, with new projects, with new art, and with new stories and new hidden stories. We've made a decision as the curators to be very selective in the future as well. Because there's a limited amount of information that we can all tap into at any given moment in time for humanity. And so we want to have these special stories presented and curated in a very special way. So as we move forward with the Lunaprise Metaverse Museum, it is a narrow window to get into of the 16 billion on the Earth, and it will be a narrower pathway. Yes, Brandi, you're one of them with your incredible project. It's not because we're trying to create an exclusive community, is just that we have to deal with in terms of space and presentation and so on and so forth. But I think we'll get there. Physical limitations that we're dealing with over the next decade to be able to exhibit artists. So they can learn more about this at spaceblue.club. We are the curators of this past mission. We are the curators of the future missions. I'm proud to say that we are absolutely the world leader in the curation of art in space. We've demonstrated it. We've set the historical records. We're leading the way. So I look forward to many friendships and collaborations that we're going to be bringing together. This team that has come together is the right stuff. They have the right stuff because Simon and his team, I mean, it's incredible what they're doing. You work very hard, okay, because we have limited windows and when we can land on the moon. So everybody that works in these projects is very devoted, and Simon's team with the Metaverse team is very, very devoted. And what Farzam brings to the table that is so valuable, I remember speaking to him years ago, and the very first thing I recognized that his knowledge and intersection on the planet is actually mind-blowing. He can connect tribes to nations, to leaders, to history in such a holistic way that it really blew me away, and I was really, really impressed. And that's exactly what we need to be associated with the Lunaprise mission. We need a mind that sees the big. He's had the overview effect. I don't know if he went to space yet, but he's had the overview effect.
I came from there, my friend. I came from there.
Yes,
I
you
think
came
he,
from
I
there,
think
so he
said,
has had this experience, and he sees what we're doing. I don't need to explain anything to him. He already knows what we're doing, and so this is a great collaboration, and the connections that he has to the world leaders to bring recognition to the artists and the projects is enormous. Simon, why don't you lead the way? You lead the way into the metaverse the other day
Right.
for all of us, and it was a joy.
It's an honor. First of all, everybody who's going to join us on this journey and who's going to visit the Lunaprise Museum on the Moon is going to be able to, fully immersive, hyper-realistic, to experience, as an example, Dr. Farzam's calligraphy, which has changed decades of history within this calligraphy and all the stories that it tells. And as we have mentioned, art pieces of amazing artists and so many creators. Even the way of how the museum is built, it's built on golden geometry, on Fibonacci patterns, and on feng shui. So it's an entire immersive experience people can dive into to literally dive into the future. This is what we have created. We give people the opportunity to become part of the future and actively creating it. So not just hoping for others to change things. This is the Lunaprise Museum is the start point. Everything we're going to create here, where we're bringing the world together for changing the world, the physical world here, and on the moon. And this is going to be let's say, a home of inspiration for the future of Earth and also of space. You know, Nikola Tesla has said one thing. He said, the moment when humanity and science will begin to study and research non-physical phenomenon, they will make more progress within 10 years or 1 decade than they've made within their entire previous existence. With the movement that Dr. Farzam has built, with the technology and the spirit we have, the love we have within our heart, the vision we have, there's no limit to what we can achieve here, and we can inspire the world, especially also and the youth, everybody, no matter what age, no matter what generation, to become part of literally writing history and the future at the same time. And this is just excites me so much, and I'm just grateful for you, for us together here. And I would say we invite everybody to join us. And Dallas, again, thank you so much. It's a true honor.
And as we know, the Lunaprise Museum is a testament of humanity. Dream bigger, speak louder, and own into your human creativity. To your human creativity. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dallas Santana, for offering this opportunity to go to space with my own art project and offer it to my partners, Farzam Kamalabodi and Simon. As we know, it's just the beginning. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Until next time, see you soon.